Hi, welcome to 14 Weeks to Success. Okay, it sounds intimidating, but it is something that we can all do, and I'm going to do it with you, and I'm going to take you through it week by week. I'm only going to go through the first 3 weeks during this training. We are going to use the event page that I have set up for this call. Is going to be well, unless y'all think I should make a new event, maybe I should make a new one for 14 Weeks to Success, and then we're going to meet there every week and go over what we're going to do and chart our progress. So I guess I'll make a new one. Okay. So it sounds intimidating, but this is really possible. Now, I got the idea of doing this. I kind of merged two of Belinda Ellsworth, and if y'all are probably sick of me talking about her, but I'm not sick of making money from listening to her, so you're going to have to hear her. And those of you who don't know who Belinda Ellsworth is, she is a renowned direct sales person. She made a multi-million-dollar business doing direct sales, and now she goes around and she does trainings for companies. Like, she was at Jamberry's conference last year. I know that she actually consults with them on a one-on-one basis, and she knows what she's talking about. So I took her two ideas of group recruiting and of showing your people how they can get $20,000 in 14 weeks, you know, breaking it down mathematically, and I've kind of merged it into one big event for us. So that's what's going to be going on here. Oh, I love my new computer. Okay. So this is pretty much what we're going to do. Recruit 3 new frontline, and I'm going to talk to you about the recruiting part. Don't freak out. Bring them through the 6-party fast start, bring their recruits through it, and bring those recruits through it. Okay? Now, let me, when y'all are watching this, sorry, because I'm not used to the, to all of this. Let me show you something with getting your recruits through things. The key to this system is not you recruiting, and the key to this system is not you getting parties. The key to this system is you recruiting, and your recruits recruiting, and your recruits recruiting, and everyone is recruiting, all right? Because and I know I'm not going to do this right, so hold on. How do I... Oh, yay, this is actually easier than I thought. Okay. If you're just recruiting, sure, photos, I don't know. If you're just recruiting, and you look at this image, you'll see at the very top, that's the first person, and then everyone down below. If you're just recruiting, you might have a lot of people, but those people are only going to be able to produce so much on their own. So even if I think this person might have 17 people, if that person, look at all these people, if that person wanted to be an executive, they really couldn't even do that because they would be relying on people to be having huge PRVs instead of having a team that has a lot of average to high PRV. So recruiting a bunch of people in 1 month or each month is really great, but if they're not recruiting anybody, then it's a wash, honestly. I mean, I have to be honest with you. If you're wanting to grow, if you're just wanting to share Jamberry with people and say, hey, come on and join my team, let's have fun, and not grow the business part, that's cool. You can do that too. But today we're talking about growth. So, yeah. Nice. Okay, I don't really know how to get out of this. I don't even know if I'm still on the call. Am I still on the call? Everyone can see everything? Okay. So there's that. Now I will show you, maybe. Go here. Oh. All right. So if I have a genealogy here, like Liz, she's got, look at this, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Liz, let me show her. I asked permission. Liz has just 6 legs, but she's got 12,709 TRV. That's because Liz has a lot of depth, okay? And that's when I talk about going deep and wide. you can have, like me, I have a lot, but if you look at this bottom tier here of people that don't have the pluses next to them, most of those that don't have pluses have zeros. So the statistic is once they're in for 90 days and they don't get somebody underneath them, the statistic is that they're going to be dropping off and that they're actually going to have zero sales themselves. That's not entirely true. You're going to have the occasional person who still comes around, but overall, first 90 days, don't get any. And everybody who has a zero here for me, 2 of those people are still in their fast start and 1 of them is not. Everybody else is many, 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 many months old. Or if they have a zero, they're brand new fast starters. So I'm just trying to show you the numbers and why you want to have depth. Just because I have a lot of people doesn't mean that I'm going to have a higher rank. Right now I'm sitting at just executive because I need to have more plus signs. Half of my team doesn't. That's not good. And that's because I made a lot of recruiting mistakes in the very beginning, and I want to make sure that y'all don't make the same ones. So that's a little bit what this is about. So we'll go back to the PowerPoint. And, okay. So that's what I want to talk about, deep and wide, and why we're going to do this. Now, if you get your team on board with this, what are y'all talking about over there? Okay. Excuse me. If you get your team on board with this, and just you doing it, you could have 33 new members and 16,500 additional DRV. That's going to put you in the team manager range. If you do it and you get 2 people to do it with you, you could be looking at 99 new members and $50,000 in additional DRV, which would be more like a senior executive. So this, you alone, you with people. So the idea here is you don't just want to do this, you want your team to do this. And that's why I'm going to create the event, is so that we can all be doing this together. We can all be tracking our progress. We can all be doing it at once. And doing something with others is always a lot more fun. I didn't use you, Kelly. I used Liz. What are you talking about? So, all right, next slide. All right, so this is the compensation plan above team manager. And just think of the more people that you get to do this plan and the more that you grow. If you're at senior executive, if you get even more people, getting to lead executive is not going to be that hard. Okay? The idea here is that we get people on board and we get them through their fast starts. If people are not getting through their fast starts, they are falling off the face of the earth. They are no longer producing and they're no longer being consultants. So we have to work on that, and I have a way for us to work on all of this. I'm not just saying you need to do this. I also have solutions for you. Okay, so the first thing I talked about was the group recruiting. And you and your team should devote 1 month to recruiting. And that, for us, is going to start in April. We're going to go hard for recruiting, and I'm going to talk about the different things that we can do to go hard. And I don't just mean bugging everybody you know and talking about it all the time. And I mean, there's going to be some good strategic steps. This should be a team effort. So if you're a lead, if you're a senior lead, if you're a premier, if you're a team manager, you have a team. So you need to get as many people on your team on board as possible and meeting up in the Firestarter event. So you don't need to create your own event on your own pages. Just everyone come. We're going to do it big time all together. And I really think that it's going to be helpful for us to be together, because I could maybe say, well, I did this week and this is my result. And then maybe Jenny says, I did this week and I got this result. And then someone might think, oh my goodness, I think I might try what she did. and then Jenny might see what someone else tried, and then I might see, and we will all benefit from it. So if we can come into the group together and do it, that would be preferable for to maximize the efforts. Now here's kind of the details of the group recruiting. Okay, now some of this, most of what's happening right here is going to happen in week 1, and week 1 actually starts tomorrow. But you're going to make a list of everyone that you know in your social circle who you think could benefit from Jamberry. And I have a worksheet on this, but like financial freedom, a night out, a free vacation, time with you, there's all sorts of different reasons why somebody would want to join Jamberry, and maybe you haven't asked them yet. So week 1 is going to be making that list, thinking about that list, sitting down and gathering those names. That's going to be week 1. I offered the opportunity to a lot of people, and some people took it, and some people didn't. But the month that I sat down and did it, I had 7 people come on. I think that 6 of those people hit their first fast start, and like 4 of them hit their triple fast start, and 2 of them became team managers. So if you see that if you're getting people through their fast starts, there's a lot better chance that, I think actually my girls who made it through their triple fast starts are the ones that made team manager, actually. So just to throw that out there. Hitting your triple fast start is really good, and you should be working with your people. Now, if you are still selling and you didn't hit your triple fast start, that's okay. Doesn't mean you can't help somebody else do that. That's what you have a team for. That's what you have an upline for. Maybe there is someone in the upline who's done it before, and that's why we're here to help you. So don't let your fear of the things you haven't done before keep you from teaching others. And that's why I always have the attitude that if I ask you to do something, I'm going to do it too. Sure, I've hit executive, and as things work out, I'm working my way up the ranks, but I can also sit here and do this 14-week plan with you too, and all the things I'm asking you to do, I'm going to do too, so that I can have the experience as well. So that later, whenever I have a new recruit in 3 months, then I can talk to her about this experience and all the things that I did, and it really has made me a better consultant to always practice what I preach. So that's what you should do, and you should also get one of your downline on board to do it with you. After you make this list, you're going to make contact with every person on that list, and these people need to be someone that you're close to, not a random person, but someone who you could call up on the phone or who you could contact and it wouldn't seem odd. That's who this list is going to come from. Then you're going to contact your family and friends who aren't on that list and ask them if they can help you think of anyone to put on this list that they might know. It's kind of like whenever we have our launch parties and we say, hey, Julie, could you also bring your sister-in-law and your cousin? I mean, that's kind of the idea here is, hey, Becky, who I know is not going to sign on to Jamberry, but you're my friend, is anyone in your life, do you think anyone in your life would like Jamberry? And people might say, no, I don't know anybody would want to do this, but some people might say, oh my goodness, yes, my sister-in-law, or oh, my coworker, I think she'd be perfect. She mentions it, and she used to do this or that. So that'll be another list that you're going to make. Sure, honey. Sorry, my daughter's like, can you just leave the door open? All right. So that's going to be this. And these details, when it applies to the week we're in, we'll be going over these details prior to that week as well. Excuse me. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Even if you don't recruit a whole bunch of people that month, you will. Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? What the heck happened? Did I lose? Even if you don't, that was not the PowerPoint presentation I thought it was. Even if you don't, I'm sorry, I can't talk. Even if you don't sign 3 people in April, you're going to have really created a great pipeline to work off of. And that's going to be good for your success anyway, long term. All right, so let me see if I can find. Weird. Well, anyway, I must have saved over it. I had the week 1, week 2, and week 3 already written out for us. Dang it. Well, I have them written out on a piece of paper, so I guess. Brady! All right. Okay, so I'm going to briefly go over the 6-party fast start, which I feel like I talk about all the time, but maybe I haven't gone over with everybody. I heard what you said. Okay. The fast start really needs to be, our basic fast start needs to be looked at as a reward system for doing the minimums and not for a way to base your business off of. Because if you think about it, if you're only selling $500 a month and you're only having one party, then you're not going to grow very fast or be able to sustain. So the idea of this 6-party fast start came from that, and I did get the 6-party fast start from Belinda Ellsworth, and one of her trainings for leaders is about how we as leaders and sponsors are really failing our new recruits when we don't say to them, hey, you need to do 6 parties, because within those 6 parties they're going to get their training, and the number one goal in any fast start phase is to get that person's kit credit back. So they pay $99 in. We want them to make that investment back. Like, that's the number one thing. And if they're not having a launch party and if they're not having their 6 parties, the likelihood of them making back that $99 is pretty slim because they're not working their business and growing it. So this 6-party fast start is for anybody you bring on, even if they say they're a hobbyist. Now, you might think, well, some people don't want to do that. Well, if they don't want to do it, then they just don't get trained by you. And you might think, well, that's horrible. But the way that this system is set up is that you don't abandon them on day 1 because they say, I don't want to do this. You just keep talking to them about the opportunity, about the things that can happen, and you keep checking in with them. And then at the 3-week point, when they won't schedule any parties whatsoever, then you move on. But that's really the way it should be anyway. This is just a system that helps you see that. So this model has 6 parties in the first 45 days. They actually get them on the books and know if it does not count if they have a launch party and then they get bookings off of that. They need to have their launch party and they need to have 5 other bookings before they ever have their launch party. They need to have those on the books, okay? In the very beginning, you will give them 2 weeks to get these down. Now, they can be Facebook parties and catalog parties, and their Facebook launch party does count. And at least 3 of them need to be in-home. Once you get, so part of the 6-party fast start model is this welcome interview. And for those of you who were at my organizing training, I have worksheets on this, and it's called the New Consultant Worksheet, and it has all of this in it so you don't forget to ask. But you want to connect within the first 48 hours via phone call. A phone call. I don't care how busy you are, take 15 minutes to call this person who will be making you money when they make a sale. Call them. It shows that you care about them as a person. Pick up the phone and call them. They may not answer you ever. I have had that happen more than once, actually, oddly. But you just keep reaching out. So do a phone call. If they don't answer you after the first 2, then, I mean, what more can you do? But you really need to call in the first 48 hours. And then you need to do an interview using the consultant worksheet. And you're going to find out why they joined Jamberry. Do they join Jamberry because they want money, they like fun, they like the product? So you're going to figure out what's really motivating them. Maybe they want to save money for a girls' weekend and they want to sell so much a month. That might be their why. Then you just need to share a little bit of your story and how you came to Jamberry.
Mama, why is this in here?
Well, because I haven't thrown it away, honey. And
Mom, I want a donut.
There's not any, honey.
You have donuts.
Go. You have to ask Minnie.
No, I want to get one myself. Can you hold my popsicle?
Yes.
Thank you for
You're
holding it.
You're welcome.
Can I come back and eat it?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm done with my pop, I'm already done.
You're already done with your popsicle.
I
Okay.
put it in the trash.
Sorry, y'all. Okay.
I'm going to get some milk.
Okay, go give it to... Yep.
No, I get that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, that was my daughter Lillian. Okay. So don't go over the workstation during this. You can do this later. That's part of the training once they get the parties and stuff. I don't want to go over the workstation with someone who won't even book a party. I mean, that is a waste of time. So if you're going to be rising in the ranks and having a lot of team, you cannot hold everyone's hand. You can hold their hand as long as they're willing to take steps forward, but don't hold people's hands who won't even have a launch party. That's just silliness right there. A good rule of thumb for you as a leader, and that's anyone here tonight, I look at you as a leader because you're here and you want to grow, and you're at least a future leader. You as a leader should always look at your downline like this. I am willing to put in as much effort into that person's business as they are willing to put into their own. If someone is unwilling to work their business, you cannot work it for them. You need to focus on those in your downline who are working and who are trying and who are listening and who are doing. Not the people who are saying, I can't, I won't, but they happen to know 25 people, or they're like, I have 4 leads, and they won't call them. You actually don't need to spend your time convincing that person to call. One time on the phone with them should be enough. And if they're not convinced then you have to move on to somebody who wants leads. Go to somebody who wants it and help them produce it. You're going to get a lot better results that way. And that's kind of the idea of the 6-party fast start, is that everybody goes through the same training, and then everybody gets the same chance, and everybody gets the same opportunity to have you train them. You might have somebody join who says, I want to, be team manager in the first 3 months, and then that person won't even schedule a launch party. Had it happen. And it would have been silly for me to continue to talk and talk and talk to her when another one of my people who signed on at the same time as her said that she was going to take it slow, but she actually hit her fast starts. And if I would have just listened to what they said instead of what they showed me, I would have misappropriated my time. So something to keep in mind for the future, and why this system is built the way it is, and why people like Belinda Ellsworth were able to have million-dollar organizations by following these simple models. So 6-party. So this is something you can read. I'm not going to go over all of this, but this is the key to what will get you the 33 new recruits and the 16,500 in DRV. It's going to be bringing your people through their fast starts. It's not going to be bringing people onto your team and them never selling anything. You will never rise in rank if you have no sales. If the people below you do not have sales, you will not rise in the ranks. It's impossible. So don't just bring people on and abandon them. Bring people on and bring them through their fast start. And if someone makes it through their triple fast start, you are not going to have to spend as much time with them, because they are going to have had all the experiences, because they are going to have had a lot going on. You're not going to have to hold their hand. So bring them through so that later they can be established, stable leaders, and not just someone who came on and had one party for you. Okay? This system, if also Rachel Hughes did a thing on it in Cincinnati, so there's someone else talking about it that you can listen to. And I've got this document, and I have a whole nother training just on the 6-party fast start. The other thing, I added this in just because I think it's a good idea. With your new recruits, ask them to think of 3 people. Even if she says she doesn't want to build the team, she needs to think of 3 people to share Jamberry with, because like my sponsor, she didn't really want to do big things, but she still went for her fast start, and that included asking me to join, and that included me going from I don't really want to do this to I love this, and it's changed my life, and I'll never be the same person ever again. And I'm very thankful for these opportunities and how much I've grown and all the new connections I've made and the old ones that have been renewed, all because somebody was willing to share this opportunity. She didn't decide for me that I didn't want to do it. She was like, okay, I'll still present this so I can hit my fast start. And that's what, even if somebody says they don't want to build a team, if they don't want to build a team, that's fine, because our system is set up so that you will still make money off of them even if she's not supporting them, and you can support them. And you make the extra 5% in the first 90 days that they're on, so you really can act as their sponsor because you'll be getting paid almost virtually the same as they will. You need, I already went through this, follow up and support. Do not abandon people once they come on. Do not tell them to have 6 parties and never talk to them again. But the new consultant worksheet actually will help you not do that, because it has check marks for the things that you followed up with them. Advanced fast start. If someone does come on and they say that they want to hit it and hit it hard, then go ahead and say, great, we're going to get you to lead in 45 days. Okay? And go for it. If they don't hit it, no big deal. This is a no pressure goal. Okay? This is no pressure goal, but an amazing one if it's hit. And it really, really will start to build that person's team rather quickly. So go ahead and put them on the fast track. Okay, so that's the 6-party fast start that I talk about all the time. And it's actually a proven method since like the 1970s for direct sales. So I didn't come up with it. I just came up with the idea of, yeah, we should do this on the team. And that's what I want everyone to know, who, if this is your first phone call with me. All my trainings are a mixture of things that I have learned myself, things from people who are in Jamberry who are successful, and things from people who are considered experts in direct sales. This is not just me having some fun ideas and throwing them all at you. I try very hard to study and listen and learn so that I don't waste your time on these trainings or with these ideas or these action plans. Okay, because there's nothing like a bunch of fluff without anything happening. All right, so, sorry, everybody. Okay, I'm so bummed that my first 3 weeks are gone, so now I don't. Hold on, let me see if maybe it's in here real quick. No. And I don't know how to look. I hate this because I don't know how to look at my most recent stuff versions. There are no previous versions of this file. Lies! Alright. I know I saved it too. Huh. Alright. So here is what you want to work on starting tomorrow or even tonight. It's called your pipeline filler. You need to think of people who fit these categories in your life. Who could use Jamberry? Financial freedom, flexibility of time, friendships, night out, personal growth, something to call our own, loves Jamberry, loves entertaining. You just have a feeling they'd be good at this. So, I want everyone to fill this entire sheet. That's right, the entire sheet. Okay. Now, some of these people might be your previous hostesses, okay? Or customers. So you have those people to gather from too. Then, after you do this, then I want you to take the same sheet and contact your close friends and family and ask them. Like, call your mom. Have you called your mom? And your mom probably doesn't want to sign on. But if, like, I got someone to sign on because I called my mom and I was like, Mom, oh my gosh, if I don't get somebody to sign on in Arkansas, I am going to go nuts. Can you think of anybody that would like to sign on? Am I missing something? Who do you think would, I can't think of anybody. And the people I've talked to, this has not worked out, and am I missing someone? And she actually came up with somebody, and I contacted them and did a horrible Facebook party, and then but they signed on, and they built a team and sold. So I was like, oh, ta-da! You know, I should ask other people if they know people. Ask your hostesses. If you think of your hostesses, oh, she wouldn't want to sell, or she's already said she wouldn't sell, or whatever, contact some of your really good hostesses and say, hey, do you know anybody who, you know, I'm looking to expand, I'm looking to grow, there's, you know, so much growth potential out there, and I can't possibly do all the parties and spread all the love, and can you think of anybody? And a hostess might come up with somebody for you. So you should take this sheet and try to fill it up with talking to your friends too. Now, you might not be able to fill it up by that, and even if you do fill up both sheets, that's not 100%. These would all be kind of cold leads, because none of these this would not be people who've already told you they want to join. Like, this is from scratch people, okay? People that already want to join will be approached later. These are people who you want to approach about joining. So that's what you're doing this week. The second thing you're going to do this week, and I will finish this up and load up a proper PDF tonight with what week 1 is, since it got lost. Whatever I was doing earlier made it go away. You want to talk to your team. You want to present this to the team. If you're excited about this, and here's what I have to say, why not try this? Nothing I'm going to be telling you to do is overly complicated or time-consuming. Honestly, none of what we're getting ready to go through is either one of those things. And be excited and say, I want you to do this with me too. Let's do it as a challenge. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see what happens. What do we have to lose? Literally, you have nothing to lose. Maybe $25, and I'll get into that when I talk about promoting some Facebook stuff. And that will be optional, of course. I want you to come up with a recruiting email. I do not want you to send this recruiting email, but I want you to compose it. It can either be an email or, I don't know if anyone uses MailChimp, but that's what I love, MailChimp. And you can make up stuff from MailChimp. Let's see. Oh, and there's one more thing that I want you to do this week. And is make a list of 10 people. And these can come from this, they can come from this list over here. This, it can come off of this list if you want, or it can be a separate list. But this is going to get you a little bit more exposure. I want you to think of 10 people that you can approach and ask that you haven't talked to Jamberry about yet. Okay, and ask them if they would like to try a sample. Ask them if they would like to meet you for coffee and try a sample or anything like that. 10 people you have not approached about Jamberry. I'm just asking you to make a list. I'm not asking you to even do action and talk to these people yet. Just think of 10 of them and get them on a list. Okay, so this is going to be week 1. This starts tomorrow. So week 1 will go from Wednesday to... Our first week will be a few days short, but this is just making lists. You're not even doing action. So, but our day 1 will start on April 1st, and it won't be a fool. Don't be a fool. Join Jamberry. That can be the name of your event. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so that's week 1. Now I'll just give you a brief overview of week 2. Week 2 will be making the Facebook event. It will be doing a sample call out like Try It Tuesday and kind of boosting a post so that you can get more, and I'll go over how to do that to maximize your dollar. And it will be contacting people on the list that you're making this week. Okay? So that will be week 2, and then week 3 will be a lot of follow-up and I have a couple other things that I'll be getting into, but we'll wait for week 3. Week 3 is what I call exposure, and I'll be talking about how to get yourself out to more people at once. So this is pretty much what it is. Your April goal is to sign 3 new frontline, okay? But we're going to build a pipeline, and we're going to get you some good leads out of doing all these things, okay? You are not just going to ask 3 people willy-nilly without putting any thought into it, okay? And even better, if you already have hot leads, awesome. You'll already be ahead of the game with getting your 3, and you'll be building a pipeline, okay? So that's what it's going to be. I don't feel like it's overwhelming. I don't feel like it's something you can't do even if you have a heavy party schedule. This is definitely, that's why it's been broken down. April will be heavy in the fact that a lot of focus will be on the recruiting and following up and making phone calls with those people, which is not something you could probably do every single month. You cannot create a pipeline from scratch every single month. That's what's nice about this, is it's going to create a pipeline that keeps on flowing that you just add people into over the course of the next year. And then you might want to think about doing this again. Because that's what I'm going to do. It hasn't been a year. It's been about 8 or 9 months since I've done this. And there's new people in my life, so I bet I can fill this list out again and start contacting them. Because, hey, I have new hostesses and customers for sure that I can add to this list. Anybody have any questions? Would you like to type them in? How does everyone feel about this? Does it feel overwhelming, or does it feel possible? And I'm just taking what Belinda Ellsworth said to do, and she said that's what she did, and I just feel like, why not try it? I did the breakdown, and this is just getting everybody through their fast starts. This isn't even getting people through all 3 fast starts in 1 month or anything like that. It's just bring on 3 people, get them through their fast starts, and then they just bring on 1 person, and then that person brings on, you know. It's just getting 3 people on, getting them through their fast starts, getting their people through their fast starts, and those people's people through their fast starts. That's it. Oh, there's another big thing you need to do. But like I said, I'm going to write down a list. You need to go through and look at your fast start percentage. So if you have 10 people on your front line, you would take that and divide it by the number of people. Anyway, there will be an equation. You have to figure out if you don't know how to figure out percentages, I'll have the equation. If you do, you need to find out the percentage of people who have gone through first, second, and third fast start. So, and if you haven't had anybody yet, that's fine. Maybe you'll end up having 100%. So, yes, I like the idea of doing this in a group too. That way, if people have questions, then everyone can learn from the questions. We can keep each other motivated and on task. And I think it's going to be really cool to, I want to have some things where we can tally up what we have and just be really supportive and encouraging of each other. And if anyone's competitive, then that's always fun too. But I think that a lot of the competitiveness in this team is really lighthearted and fun. And I always encourage that. You know, nothing mean, and I don't think we have that at all, so that's great. Okay, awesome, Christy. And whenever I do this, this will also come with recruiting tips, and I will have some recruiting things for you all to listen to about how to close people and questions to ask. And I will have the Recruit Leads worksheet, which is great because it has those questions on there so you don't forget to ask them. Okay, I think that's it, and this is probably the shortest meeting I've ever done, except for the fact that we took 20 minutes of technical difficulties up. But so when I get back from Arkansas, then I will set up the events and all that kind of stuff. But tonight I will go upload the what your week 1 should be, since week 1 starts tomorrow, and then I'll create a. Wait, you want me to create a brand new event, right? Yes. Brand new event, right? Okay. So I'm going to create that new event and then post week 1's list in it, hopefully tonight before I go to bed. After I get the kids to bed, I'll do that. Then I'll go visit with my mom. So she's taking a nap anyway, y'all. Don't worry. Like, I'm not really taking time away from my family. So, all right. That's great. And y'all can email me or your team managers any questions you have. So, or Facebook us. You know what I mean. Good luck, y'all. This is exciting. I'm so excited to work with everybody and see where you go. Oh, and the last thing I want to say is if you are already a lead, then you can kind of, if you do this and you're already a lead, you're going to be a team manager at the end of this. Just something to think about. Okay. Check you later. Bye, y'all.